Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Board YouTube channel for today's Pick and Roll live stream. We're here after yesterday's 3-1 day. We went to sleep thinking it was going to be a 4-0 day, but we had one of the nastiest hooks you may ever see on this show or in any bet you'll ever make. Tough, but still a winning 3-1 day. A great day for the show, recouping a bit from the previous day. So we're on a good run here. We'll try to keep it going today, but there's one game to talk about, so it won't be as long of a show as normal, but we still will provide some content here. We'll recap the previous show's bets. We'll talk about the game today. We'll answer any questions you have in the chat, and we may dip into the futures market a little bit just to see where the market is at, maybe review some of our preseason bets. So still some great content on the way. Make sure you do hit a like button if you are ready for today's show, you've been enjoying this season, and subscribe to the channel. As long as there are NBA games, or in this case, NBA game, one game today, as long as there's a game to talk about, we'll be live on weekday mornings right here on the Board YouTube channel, presented by FanDuel at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. Let's go to a word from our sponsor here, and then we'll crack on with the show. We still have to remind you guys, if you're not taking advantage of this, you are missing out. With FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, you can catch all the action this season because right now they're giving everyone 3 months of League Pass. All you have to do to catch every tip-off, every buzzer beater, and every winning bet is place any $5 bet on the NBA. And on top of this, for a limited time, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. So next time you're making a play, next time you're tailing a pick on the show, bet it on FanDuel and watch your picks come to life live with League Pass. So visit FanDuel.com/board, BOARD, the name of the channel, to get 3 months of NBA League Pass, courtesy of FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. But must be 21 plus and present in select states. For candidates in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino or 18 plus and present in D.C. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued at non-withdrawable bonus bet, which expires 7 days after receipt. After a 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelpline.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Let's go to the recap of the previous show's picks. Definitely a tough one here for the show, but here is the losing. We had 3 wins. Here is the losing play. It was on Jalen Green under 25.5 points plus assists. So what happened here? We had the under 25.5. Closes, of course, 24.5. He ends on 26. At the end of the game, he had 25 points plus assists. So the game was over. He was on 25 points plus assists, which gave us a hook win. NBA stats adjusted the game after the fact to reflect an assist that was missed during the game. Now, I cannot confirm exactly which play it was. However, based on what I've seen, I saw somebody posted on Twitter. We probably have 5 legitimate assists here, so we're not getting hard done by that. It's just, damn, we thought we had the win at the end of the game, and it didn't end up cashing for us. I'm not sure, depending where you bet it, if you got the win. Some people are saying they got the win. We're obviously not going to grade it as a win on the show. I will say, if you did get it graded as a win, they could adjust it after the fact and still grade it as a loss and take some money away from the account. So if for whatever reason there's no money in that account for them to take back, then you're probably in a good spot. But I'll leave it up to you guys. Let's talk about this bet, Pips. Even despite this tough hook loss from the adjustment of stats, this was a really weird game where Jalen Green was just making the most difficult shots.
And then in the fourth quarter, missing the most easiest shots. Yeah, this a weird game. Expected Clippers to be way better in transition. I think 4 out of 5 Jalen Green assists were in transition, where he just hit the corner guys after running to the rim, like driving kick stuff. He didn't make any good reads in the game as expected, and yeah, top one. Scoring wise, he made 5 threes, I think, which is I didn't expect him to shoot that much. I watched him being terrible last couple of games. Now he Didn't wasn't better. Just the shots were falling. Yeah, tough one. Uh, Nothing to say there. Like that's it.
Well, that's a strange one. It was a strange one overall, and a tough one for a tough way to lose. A lot of people in the chat are mentioning that it was still great as a win for them. So fantastic. We won't do that for the show purposes, but for the people that are in the chat, hopefully it did great for you as a win, and you get your own little sweep there. We also had Santi Aldama come through in part of the late stage of the slate, over 11.5 points. Bit of a slower start for him, but he ends on 15 and gives us a win here despite the
Yeah,
Memphis loss.
yes. Slow start first quarter. Had 10 at the halftime, so I wasn't worried about him. In the second half, he missed I think like six or seven straight shots. Then came back in the fourth and made two buckets. One, but we needed only one. He made two buckets. Ended up on 15. Everything as expected in this one.
And then the two other ones we had were pretty easy. Goga Bitadze over 7.5 rebounds. He ends with 12. He had his 8 that we needed pretty quickly in this game. So no sweat there. And then the final bet is Naz Reid over 11.5 points. This one closed at actually 13.5 on the line. He ends with 15. This was also relatively simple. He was racking up points really early on in this game and ended up covering pretty easily, despite the Portland Trailblazers winning this game. Did Portland win both of the back-to-backs against Minnesota?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So
Minnesota.
the thing is, Portland, last time they won, it was Robert Time Lord completely owned them on both sides. Last night it was Klingon. I don't know how anyone feels about him, but as a deep drop guy, he is great. I think last night he had 8 blocks, 6 offensive rebounds, 17 points, 5 from 5 from free throw line. Like Klingon owned them. Like he completely, he was awesome. Like he was like prime Gobert. Like he played better defense than Gobert played last night, which is great stuff to see.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you say it's Time Lord and Klingon going off when that should be the one position the Wolves have locked down with Rudy Gobert, but Rudy's a weird one.
They struggle on offense, so they play Naz Reid as a backup 5, and Naz Reid is just not good at handling bigs. And they lost his minutes like crazy. Yeah, he was minus 11 in 28 minutes. Only positive guys were Jaden McDaniels. Was Jaden McDaniels. Yeah, they struggle because when the shots are not falling for them, they were 18% from three. They lose, which is interesting spot because Portland Trail Blazers are giving up threes and not giving up anything in the paint. So when teams shoot poorly against them, they can win.
Right.
Which is probably the best thing for like lottery teams to play, like play on shooting warriors and win games that way. So the Wolves offense really sucks, and that's it. Nothing to say about that game anymore. But losing twice to Blazers is not great. Also, Blazers down Simons, probably their best player. Tough.
Yeah, very tough. But these things can happen over the course of the NBA season. But if you're Minnesota and it hasn't been the most spectacular start to the season, anyways, it's got to sting to have some low-hanging fruit like this and not coming out with
finally,
at least one win.
Finally, Anthony Edwards shooting came down to earth after we spoke how he can't miss. He was 0 from 9 from 3 last night.
I did actually bet it. That was a tough
one.
But, I mean, he took 9. And honestly, if he had made some, he would have taken even more than 9. So, the handicap's in the right spot, but it is what it is. We move. We certainly move, especially after the Jalen Green result. A lot of people in the chat, I'd say the majority of people in the chat do say it did great as a win. That's great to see. It depends on your the sports book's house rules, but obviously, again, we're not going to grade it as a win for the show. But for you guys, some of you guys out there got your own sweep. Today, it is a tough slate. It's one game. It's Dallas away at the Utah Jazz. So we'll do our best to come up with some angles from Pips will do his best to come up with some angles for betting from a betting perspective. May or may not be any official picks for the show today. Afterwards, we'll hand over to you guys for the Q&A portion of the stream. Any questions you have, any markets you want us to look into, any bets you have, let us know. We'll go through them. Maybe on the shorter side for a show today, but still hopefully some good information to be shared. Here is the one game on the slate for today. It's a 9-point spread in favor of Dallas away from home. The over-under is 231.5. Tough game, but the tough slate because it's just one game. So, big spread makes it difficult to begin with from a player prop perspective. And added on to that, if it's one game, the full focus of sportsbooks go into making sure these lines are set correctly. No player prop lines out for tomorrow as of yet that I'm aware of. So anything you can give us from this game here, Pips?
It's tough because this could be a blowout.
Yeah.
And I prefer overs in these games. So yeah, that's rough. Like when you're playing right. Utah Jazz, you prefer to bet over. Like zero chance of unders against Utah Jazz, no matter what. The read for this game is probably I'm just going to check something quick for. So I can share the screen for this. Not for my props madness, but for something else, which is NBA rotation. Just showing the how I do. Can I share this NBA rotation stuff? Okay, so I'm going to check Jazz last game to see who played backup 5 for them. So they had John Collins starting at the 5. As we can see, he played with starters as a 5. And when he sits, the 5 was Kyle Filipowski.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is he even a 5? Like he's basically like wing guy.
He's a power forward, but the way he plays, you would want him to be a 5. Like in an ideal world, you can play Kyle Filipowski at a 5. He just cannot protect the rim, so you can't do it. So to alleviate the risk of his poor defense, you kind of have to put him at power forward. But he's a bad defender, is what I'm saying. So
yeah,
you want to put him at the 5, but you can't.
He's 6'11", which makes him and 250 pounds. So he has the size of a big like. So
that's what I'm saying. You want to play him there. He's just not really good enough defensively to do it. At least
I watched him last couple of games and he looked great for me. Not on defense, just overall. Like on offense, he made some
smart
threes.
Player.
Yeah. So if we can see here that Derek Lively is back. Last game against the Golden State Warriors, he scored 8 points in. No, these are rebounds. He scored 12 points, which is great. He scored 11 points against the Orlando Magic in 20 minutes. First game back, he played 24 minutes, which kind of leans for me that Dallas is preferring their Derek Lively over Daniel Gafford. Like first game back, he played 24 minutes, like clear split with Gafford. In some earlier games, he played 26, 28 minutes. So when healthy, maybe they lean towards Lively, like Lively playing like 26, Gafford 22 minutes or 28. Yeah, as they should, of course. And first game back, he played 24 off the bench. Maybe he starts today. Maybe he starts, or if he comes off the bench, maybe he plays more minutes than Gafford, no matter that he starts.
Wasn't he the starter at the beginning of the season before he got hurt?
Yeah, I think he was starting.
No,
he was.
He hasn't started.
But he played more minutes than Gafford, even though he didn't start.
Let me confirm. So yeah, he played first game season. He played 28. Then he played 21. Then 26, 27, 15, 20.
Yeah.
Missed a few games. Then played just over 24 the last game.
Yeah. So he played more minutes than Gafford last game, and it was first game back of the injury. So that's promising for me.
Yeah.
When we look at these matchups, we can see that he played. Uh, yeah, he played difficult matchups overall. Like he played 15 against the Spurs. Okay, he was off the bench, so he wasn't matched up with Wemby, but he scored 15 points there. Then he played the Suns, who are above average defending bigs. Then he played Jazz, scored 14 points against Jazz. Then he played Wolves and the Rockets, worst matchups for him. Like honestly, like terrible matchups for him. Scored 5 and 6 points only. 6 points in 15 minutes against the Rockets is actually pretty good, considering the matchups. And then against Orlando and Golden State, the like average matchups, he scored 11 and 12 points. Yeah, so when we look at even the last season, I'm going a bit deeper because we don't have much, so I'm working on the spot.
Yeah.
Last season when he played 20 to 28 minutes, uh, when he played against teams that are not great in pick and roll defense, pick and roll man defense, he did average like you can see he averaged 10.7 points and was over in 13 out of 18 games. So overall, like when he played poor, so when he's playing poor rim defense like Utah Jazz and poor pick and roll defense like Utah Jazz, he averaged 13 points and was scored 8 in every game and over this line in 7 of 8 games. So with Kessler being out, which is huge, last game we saw Plumlee scoring 15 points. Yeah, I can see Lively be doing great tonight. So my first only official bet today will be Derek Lively over 8.5 points
Okay.
because everything looks great. Just an additional fact, he scores all of his points in the paint because he just not. I think he made 1 3 so far or something. Maybe in preseason, and Utah Jazz looked decent paint defense, but that was with Walker Kessler, who is great on defense, great rim protector. He's out. John Collins can defend the rim to save his life. Same probably works for Kyle Filipowski. And the thing with Kyle Filipowski, he's probably not used to defending pick and rolls, especially against Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. So the lobs and positioning could be not there. And as we can see, Jazz are 26th ranked in pick and roll man defense. They suck on the cuts as well. And yeah, I love this matchup for Derek Lively. If he gets 24 minutes, he should be able to cut some lobs here.
Yeah, that completes it. I'm trying to find his shot locations here by distance. Yeah, he's barely taken anything outside of like the restricted area essentially. So
we can
right
see
at the
here
rim.
that like 75% at the rim and 25% in the paint, not rim, like some like floaters or stuff really close to the rim or hook shots.
Okay,
So yeah, everything in the paint. But I mean, yeah, if Kessler was there, this is a huge no bet. But with Kessler out, like John Collins, as a Hawks fan, watched him so many years in as a backup five. There is no player that didn't put numbers on him. Like he just can't defend.
Yeah, and the backup, if it is Filipowski, he also struggles on that end.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is like a good matchup. Also, Luka is one of the best players to throw lobs, and Kyrie kind of increased his assist this season. So yeah, perfect match.
So this is moved on FanDuel. It's now minus 122, but you can get 8.5 at minus 110 elsewhere. Also minus 115. So minus one. It was minus 115 giving up. So minus 115 or better
We can see
works
that,
here.
Yeah, it just moved on the screen here as well. I don't know if people can see this, but move to minus 122. This is updated like in every 30 seconds. So
yeah, it is official. Derek Lively
Yeah.
over 8.5 points. We'll say minus 115 because that's what it was, and that is widely available. But there is minus 110 out there if you can
Yeah.
shop
I'll play
around.
it like this minus 122 is probably like still playable. Won't go above that.
Okay, so minus 122 is playable. It's not minus 122 anymore, but the price is. We'll say we'll track it at minus 115 because that is an option out there as well, and I'll put that in the chat. Anytime there is an official play, I'll mark it in the chat with a little check mark for you guys in case you're unaware if a play has been made official or not, because that does come up on the show. So that is what we
I
have
can
for today.
remember. I can't remember on the last show the leans. What were the leans? I know I said LeBron James triple double with 20 plus points.
You did.
He had triple double with 35 plus
Yeah.
points.
It
Yeah.
took a lot of me not to bet his over on points, but I didn't end up doing it. But I was really close, and I wish obviously now I wish I did.
Yeah,
But
he had like easy triple double with 14 assists and 12 rebounds. And he went for lately in the game went for the rebounds. I know someone like last game against the Raptors. I think they asked him in the press conference. Like he said, the fans were saying you need one more rebound for triple double, and then he said, "I got you," something like that, and went to get it.
well,
Yeah.
he also wants his triple double,
Yeah,
right?
sure. But
Um,
like he said like he wasn't aware, but then fans said you need one more rebound and he went for it. Like I don't trust it, but it does sound like interesting.
I remember in games like this where you try to handicap narrative for LeBron, I always remember the game where he broke the NBA's all-time scoring record, and it took me like a while to come to. Like it took me like a little bit of time to bet his over that game. I'm just like, there's so many celebrities showing up. Adam Silver's going to be there. Kareem is going to be courtside. Like this is LeBron. There's just absolutely no way he doesn't absolutely destroy his over on today's points. And obviously he did. He broke the scoring record that day.
The thing with
But like,
LeBron,
yeah,
the thing with LeBron, like he is not playing 100% there all the time.
exactly, exactly.
If he did, he's scoring 30 a night still at this age, like
But
easy.
he wouldn't last the whole season in playoffs if he
Yeah,
did
yeah,
so.
but
So when he feels like turning it on, which
yeah,
for the NBA Cup opener for a game where he could break the NBA all-time scoring record, he's going to do it, right?
yeah.
So
He had
yeah.
3 triple doubles in a row, and we could see that being a thing moving forward with DLO moving to the bench. I don't know I'll check his numbers for potential assists, but man, he is like every action is going through him, like every possession. Like he's having usage of like prime Luca. I mean, not prime Luca, still Luca Doncic, but yeah,
Current
everything
Luca.
going through him. He's just not shooting as in chucking as much as Luca does, which is a good thing because I don't like seeing Luca chucking shots.
Yeah. If if LeBron feels like it, he can put up pretty much whatever stat line he feels like on every given night. It's
This
astonishing.
is
I wish I could have took advantage there.
well, I
Uh,
just want to say like these last couple of games are all his career highs. Like last 6 games, he averaged 20 potential assists, like 11 assists a game, which is probably like close to his career highs in the regular season on creation stuff, which is huge shout out to JJ Redick for unlocking that kind of LeBron. That's what he needs to be like
and huge
at
shout
this
to
age.
JJ for benching D'Angelo Russell. Somebody had the guts to do it finally. On the
Yeah,
topic of leans, just because we'll fill these in. Some of the leans. The Anthony Edwards was probably enough to count as a lean for threes. He obviously tough. He goes 0 of 9. You did also advise pretty heavily on Brooke Lopez over on points. I think he finished with 29
yeah.
yesterday. That was pretty good as well. I
Yeah,
can't.
that was really close, like millimeters away from being an official bet, and I went to Jalen Green instead. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
still like, yeah,
Hey,
yeah, I mean,
you
okay.
can't. It happens. It
I,
happens.
I
Yeah.
hope like
The Antoine
I,
was tough.
I don't care if we count it on the show or not. I hope people get like for example
Yeah.
LeBron. I don't care if we count it. If some people bet it and made money, that's all that matters. Yeah.
Yes. You provide the information, you provide the data, you give people the opportunity to bet it if they like, and it's up to you from that point. If you think it's a strong enough handicap, we put some on the show, and hopefully turns into a winning season a little bit later on. Let's dive into a little bit of the futures markets here. Then we will get into the Q&A for any questions that you guys have in the chat. I just want to look a little bit at the awards because we do have some money in play here. Going to pull it up on FanDuel right now. I will say for these in-season awards bets, they're pretty heavily juiced at the moment. But we'll start with the MVP. And so far, Jokic. Man, for Jokic to win a fourth MVP, they always say that when you're winning multiple MVPs, you're not only playing against your competition, you're playing against yourself. He has to. Last season, it was pretty much he had to lap the field to get it. This season, he has to basically double lap the field, and he's doing that. Like, the levels of Jokic, he could lead the NBA in points, he could lead the NBA in rebounds, and he could lead the NBA assists all on his own. And he's now favorite for MVP. God, Jokic is so good. What does he have to do to win this award? Do you think he should be the favorite right now?
I mean, looking at the MVP so far this season, it's out of the questions. I think, this team without him is probably not winning a single game, maybe 2 games. They are 7-3. Okay, they played overtimes with Toronto and Mets, but they still won. And now they won 7 out of the last 8. I don't know, they didn't have a crazy difficult schedule, I would say that, but they did play Thunder in Dallas in the Bull. I mean, these numbers we never see anything like it. He's scoring 30 points on average, 14 assists, 12 rebounds, while being the most efficient player in the league. 67% true shooting. That's unheard of. In his MVP seasons, we were saying this is crazy, this is unreal, and this is another level. He's way better now, which is insane.
Wow, yeah, these numbers are something else. These are numbers people will look back on in 30 years.
These are numbers people
go, what the hell?
Can put up on NBA 2K playing at say a rookie level.
Yeah, this honestly. He currently is leading the league in rebounds. He's currently leading the league in assists, and he's not far off the points. This is special.
By far the most efficient one.
If you don't, I see a lot of people, and the efficiency as well. I see a lot of people online who don't like watching Jokic because you think it's just boring. You must really hate basketball if you don't like watching Jokic. Honestly, he is the things he does on the floor. It's magic some of the times. He's so fun to watch. I don't know how you can possibly.
I don't know who's even close to him, LeBron. Who is close to the perfect high-IQ basketball?
LeBron. That's it.
That's it, probably.
I've seen.
Yeah. Prime LeBron.
That's just like the ability to just make everyone better, the ability to just win games on your own. I've never seen it other than LeBron at this level, and it's crazy. Jokic favorite to win it. He'll have to keep this up to win MVP, but currently the favorite. We'll go to the Rookie of the Year race.
If they can get a healthy version of Jamal Murray, against the Miami Heat first game back, he looked really good. He looked real good. Like when he cooked teams in the playoffs 2 seasons ago, which I don't know how it happened because he looked so poor, then took 3-game rest, and then against Miami he looked unbelievable. So if he's healthy, Brown, man, did you look at Brown numbers? Everyone was saying, they lost KCP, that's huge. Brown is probably their second best player so far. It's
really good
crazy.
Numbers.
Yeah, he has 16-5, shooting 50% from 3. Not crazy volume, but if you double Jokic out of Brown, he is going to make it. So, and he's their best defensive player. Well, second best close to the Gordon. Yeah, and this team is doing this. Jamal Murray missed 3 games, played terrible in the start. Gordon missing games. Uh, Michael Porter Jr. terrible start to the season, now coming around. I don't like. I was so down on them, but they still keep winning because they have Jokic. And if they
Yeah.
had Jokic not taking another step, they will be probably like 4-6 instead of 7-3, which is
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I bet the over 49.5 to start the season. Then from the first few games, I'm like, this is cooked. But the win total's now at 50.5, so it's gone up a little bit. I haven't hedged at all. I am awaiting I don't feel like I'm at the right time. I am waiting to hedge. I am waiting to hedge out of this.
what's their schedule? Like they honestly they didn't play great teams so far. Like
Yeah.
other than they played OKC, Wolves, OKC twice, Wolves, and Dallas,
Yeah.
and they are 2-2 in those games. Other teams they
They
beat is Raptors twice, Miami, Utah Jazz, Nets. Those are teams that they are supposed to win.
it's tough to evaluate strength of schedule this early, but they have one of the more difficult ones, the top 10 most difficult one remaining. It's tough to evaluate this early, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
um, that's where they stand. We'll move down the awards list here. Jared McCain all of a sudden vaulting himself into the favorite to win the Rookie of the Year, getting a lot of minutes with the 76ers. Kind of makes sense. Tyrese Maxey is out injured. Kyle Lowry is getting old. And McCain's getting a big role, and he is stepping up and seizing it. Plus 300 now to win this award. We're on Zach Edey, and with his rotation kind of changing on a day-to-day basis, we'll see how that looks the rest of the way. But do you think this one makes sense as well?
I do. I tweeted last night that I'm like most impressed by him. Efficiency is not great, but it's okay with the usage he's getting. But he'll get the big numbers in back-to-back games when Paul George and Embiid sits. So he'll have some games where he put 30, 25 to 30 points. In games when they are all healthy, he will get like 15 minutes of the bench, 20 minutes of the bench, where he will score like 8 to 9 points. So on the numbers wise, he'll need to put big numbers when the Embiid and Maxi are off or Paul George, which is this team lacks offense outside of the top 3 guys. And yeah, so he has a shot for sure.
And I don't think we need to discuss the Defensive Player of the Year race because Mobley is still minus money to win that award. But we should discuss. I remember seeing some tweets about Victor Wembanyama's offense. It's not polished. It's not there yet. Yesterday, Victor Wembanyama dropped 50 points. 50 points. Sensational stuff. He didn't even lead the day in points either. Giannis had 59 yesterday. Speaking of like carrying teams, we talk about Jokic, Giannis, but 50 points from Wemby. Did you end up catching that game?
Yeah, I didn't watch that game. No interest in seeing Wizards and Spurs,
I get it.
honestly.
Believe
Yeah,
me.
but I feel like an idiot, honestly, for not betting his over. When he struggled in some tough matchups earlier this season, he played Rockets 3 times. He played Thunder. He played teams that doubled him, like the shit out of him. Now he played Wizards, and after seeing what Şengün did against them in like some limited minutes, with yeah, I was, that's just a misstep from me. I'm not, no, I have no issue saying that because perfect matchup. Like everyone started already talking like shit on his offense this season. I saw some posts where people like, is this? They said that he needs only Chris Paul to unlock him. Now he's even worse than this season. Blah blah blah. He wanted to do this so bad,
Statement
and
game.
when you have a player motivated to play against Wizards, that's an over. Like, yeah.
And speaking of our preseason bets, I think we had Chris Paul over. I don't know if we made it a show. Anyways, I think it was mentioned Chris Paul over 7.4 assists. He's currently at 8.6 assists per game. So that's a
Yeah.
good one as well, largely as a result of Victor Wembanyama's play as well. A reminder, guys, to hit that like button
My
if you're enjoying the
my
show,
season
by the way.
logs, my season logs I do always like sleep on like fantasy sites. I always do like sleep like I bet on like 1K to be like 5 long sleeps, 5 season longs stuff. I won like 4 years in a row. These easily, like huge money maker from my side.
It's
This
just tough
season,
to tie up your money for that long. That's the only
yeah,
downside.
that's true. But I bet slips with like five players, so it's probably like 20 to 1 most of the time, 15
Okay.
to 1, 10 to 1. So this easily. Like so far, I bet Claxton under 10.8 rebounds a game. He averaged 7. I bet Risaher over season average over 10.3 points. I think that's he'll smash that.
Yeah.
And I don't
You
know
have you have
what's
Fox under you gave out Fox under 5.6 assists, or is it
yeah
5.8?
5.8. He's at
5.2.
5.3.
5.2.
And last one is Sar. I think Alex Sar over 9.6 points. He's at 9.5. But
Okay.
he'll just improve, and
Hopefully, yeah.
when they
Improve
shut
as season
down
goes on.
players, yeah, this is like probably the easiest money maker so far. I've like season long stuff. Like out of all the futures, I would say this is like the softest market to beat. Like long, like these things are winning like easily. I will not wait like entire season, lock my money on single bet, but I put good money on like entire card.
Right.
So yeah,
Most improved player award. J Dub is in the lead, tied for the lead actually with Jalen Johnson. Also in the mix, LaMelo Ball, RJ Barrett. It's always this list has fluctuated more than any other list. This keeps on moving around. Like Barrett was in second the other day. He's had a couple bad games. He moves down. Jalen Williams was an outsider. All of a sudden he's in first. Jalen Johnson has been quite near the top for a while. I think we have Ivy. Yeah, we have Ivy. We got him at 7,500. He's at plus 2,000 here. Solid here. Do you think J Dub, Jalen Johnson should be the favorite here? I think Jalen Johnson firmly should be the favorite.
yeah. I made Jalen Johnson my pick on the Twitter before the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is. I don't think J Dub improved any numbers besides rebounding. Like
Yeah,
it's all
I
flow
agree.
in
He's
the
a
last
weird one
season.
there.
And Jalen Johnson had a terrible start to a season. First 5 games he played complete ass, but he is coming around. And in the last 7 games, he's averaging 21, 10, and 6 with good efficiency. So if he continues with this number, 21, 10, and 6 could probably be enough to be huge contender. That's my prediction. But actually, I made a prediction for his numbers that he needs to win 21, 10, and 5. He has 21, 10, and 6 over the last couple of games. So if he stays on that trajectory, which is not unexpected, like that trajectory should even go higher. So yeah, I do think Jalen Johnson should be the one to win this one.
And final award we'll talk about here is a sixth man of the year race. Peyton Pritchard firmly in the lead. Buddy Hield somewhat behind. He had a great start to the season as a starter, and now he's off the bench. He's not been playing as well. Benedict Matherin's a weird one to be in third here because he's playing really well since he became a starter because Neesmith is injured, which would take away his ability to win the sixth man of the year award. This is a weird one. I have Naz Reid. I have money on Naz Reid. DiVincenzo was a popular preseason pick. He's a bit further down the list now. Trey Mansion playing well. When he's healthy, this is one to look out for. I don't understand Matherin and Hield here because they're playing well when they start, but their numbers drop significantly off the bench.
That's been the thing with this award. So
Yeah.
many players boosted their number with like starting to like 25 games and playing more of games of the bench and winning. But
Yeah.
when you look at the numbers, Hield obviously has the best numbers. That's out of question. But this number will drop. This is not something sustainable. He will end up. He's currently averaging 17 points a game. That number will probably fall down to 14, and then it's a close toss up with him and Peyton Pritchard and Naz Reid, obviously. Like those are three that are up there. Monk is injured. he'll be a good pick, but he's injured, so we don't know what's happening there. And he has so many players taking his usage this season, so DeMar DeRozan ruined his chances. So overall, it's probably like Pritchard, Hield, and Nasri.
We'll go.
Won't be like when they are healthy, he is not scoring enough to be in the contention.
Let's turn it over to the chat. Answer some questions here. First question I'll go through is from Michael. He asked me if any regular season win totals stick out to you. Kings and Wizards were mentioned either yesterday or the day before. I'll just revisit those numbers here. Wizards are listed at 21.5 wins. Pips, you said you don't think they get to 15. So you like the spot, I think.
Yeah, I think I think I like the under. I think wasn't it like 22 and a half 2 days ago? Then there
Maybe.
was two in a row and dropped to 21 and a half. I mean, still, I don't care. They're not winning 20 games.
So maybe good spot there. The Raptors are currently listed at 28.5 wins. Guys, I don't think they're getting to 28.5. They have a really difficult start to the season. So when they get halfway through this season, their season starts to lighten up. They're going to be in tank mode. And Barnes is out injured for at least another week and a half or so. Quickly is probably going to be out for a couple weeks. Injuries have been piling up, and this team knows how to tank. This team knows how to lose games, and their coaching sucks. So
they did have like terrible schedule, probably the most
the
difficult
worst,
schedule
the
out of
worst,
anyone. Yeah, the worst. Yeah,
the worst.
uh,
But for this bet, it'll put them in a spot where they can't recover, and they will be trying to tank when the season starts to lighten up. That's why I think it'll be really difficult to get the 28.5 here.
yeah.
And honestly, it was to start the season, their win total was like 29.5, 30.5, and they are 2-10. It still hasn't come down much. So I think that's a pretty good spot. And you've been on the Sacramento Kings under. Right now it's at 48.5. Do you still feel good about going under for the Kings?
What was our initial bet? Was it 50 or 49 when the season started? Yeah, but I still win under. Yeah, especially with now Monk being out, and I think the Rosen went out last night. I don't think that's a poor thing, but with their depth issues, it's not good. So yeah, I do win under.
So I'm just looking at the chat here. We have somebody mentioning the Wizards preseason were at it was open 21.5, closed at 19.5, and now you have the ability to bet it at 21.5 again. So yeah, that looks decent. The Nuggets, I'd say I would hate to bet under on Nikola Jokic, but 50.5 is a lot for a team that needs Jokic to put on a superhero cape every night just to barely win these games against bad teams. They have beaten some good teams now, but 50.5 seems like an awful lot for the Nuggets at this point.
Yeah, no bet there, but it does look. Let's check the Pistons number. I think today should be interesting one.
20. I think they're gonna win more than.
Yeah, that's why I said it look like when they are healthy, they are actually a decent team.
That's pretty low, is it not? They have a bottom 10 schedule, so a top 10 easiest schedule remaining. They are,
and also their losses were all under 10
5-8.
points. They lost
5-8.
overtime against the Bucks, by 2 points against the Houston, by 1 point against the Hornets, 6 points against Boston, 6 points against the Pacers. Like even when they lose, they are really close to winning.
I'll give you.
I think that they win more.
I'll give you a little bit of a sneaky one here. The Suns under 51.5 is a decent look to me because Kevin Durant going to be out for a little bit, but even before he went out, every time this team wins, they're not winning by margin. So this season, they beat the Nuggets by 4, the Lakers by 6, the Clippers by 3, lost to the Lakers, Mavericks by 12, a weird one where they win by margin. Then Lakers by 4, Clippers by 6, Blazers by 6, Sixers by 2, Heat by 3, Mavericks by 1. And in the last 3 games, they beat the Jazz by 8 and lost twice by decent margin to the Kings. So when they win, they're winning by very little. So that's usually an indication of a team that is not sustainably going to continue to win the games at the pace they're currently at. And with Kevin Durant out, I don't think this 9-3 pace is going to hold. How does that sound to you, Pips?
I'm split on that. If game is close, team with Devin Booker and KD will win
Fair enough.
a lot.
Fair enough.
A lot. But the thing is, KD is out, and this team needs KD more than like anything. Like if Bill is out,
Right.
they can win. If Booker is out but Bill is playing, they can win. With KD, that's just huge.
Do you know who leads the? Do you know who leads the game in minutes per game? Leads the league in minutes per game this season?
Who leads the league in minutes per game? Like
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, but I'll say like second, third, and fourth are like Fox, DeRozan, and Keegan Murray.
Sure, but do you understand the physical toll that you need to put on Kevin Durant for this team to barely win games? This guy's always going to be hurt, and when he isn't hurt, playing like this many games is insane. I like the look on that under. Definitely.
Just checking something. So Durant is expected to return in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They play 10 games without. They are playing 10 games without KD.
They have to go 52-30 to go over on that number. I don't think they're going 52-30. So nothing official. I may personally make some of this official, but nothing for a show. But some information for you guys to consider. Let's go to the questions now. You know, we said a shorter show. It's going to be the same length of a show as normal, even though it's only one game. But let's go back to some of the props here. We have Philip NBA ask about Sexton under 4.5 assists at -139. So a bit of heavy juice, but anything you can give us on the assist front for Sexton?
I need to look at it. I don't know the numbers up front on the bets like this. It's heavy juiced. He did, with Kenjonte George, Lauri Markkanen, and Clarkson playing. The Sexton is not touching 5 assists. So I like this. And against Dallas. Oh, interesting fact. Last game against Dallas, he had 2 assists on 12 potential assists. 10 potential assists is a huge number for this line. So I don't know what happened in that game, but last 2 he had only 6 and 4, which makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I kind of lean under as well, but it's heavy juice, so I don't like betting heavy juice lines.
Let me see. There's like better price maybe somewhere, but if you can get
this
less
is the best
juice,
price. My -139 is the best price out there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's tough to bet, but decent spot overall. Next question. Anthony asked about Lauri Markkanen under 20.5. I'm going to assume points, -120 on FanDuel.
I mean, he does look rough. So when you look at the games this season, he averaged 18 points under in 5 straight. Against Dallas, he had 17, but shot 4 from 15. He shot 1 from 10 inside the arc. That's not happening again. So the thing is, looking at the numbers, it looks like a clear under. But if you look at the off-screen numbers, free throws allowed, overall, I don't know. Last game, he scored only 17 points. But they were forcefully feeding ball to the Lauri Markkanen. It was just that they sent doubles to him. So he didn't score much. But they were trying to get Lauri involved in every action. So they are healthy. I lean under because it couldn't be a blowout. So I'm 50-50 in if I didn't know that spread is 9, I'll be 50-50 on this.
On the
Potential
spread.
blowout does give this one an edge on the under.
Fair enough. Izana, hopefully said that right, asked about Luka assists because the Jazz gave up the third most assists to point guards, if they remember correctly. Luka Doncic assist number today is over 8.5. You can find that at plus money.
The thing with Luka assist, his potential assists are very down. This season he covered this line only 3 games. Last game against the Golden State, only 11 potential assists, 13 against the Suns. Last game against the Utah Jazz, he had 13 potential assists on 8 assists. But without Kessler, he should have some easy lobs at the rim and easy overall assists. So I do lean over, especially at plus money, which is at the FanDuel. So yeah, I do lean over. The Jazz are usually a funnel for assist for guards. Uh, I like last game. Kyrie had 9, also huge plus money on his assist. But of course, I will prefer 4.5 and minus 130 to bet it. 5.5 does look a bit too much, especially with the blowout concern. In the last couple of games, he did put some more potential assists, but yeah, the bookies are setting this well. But Luka, I don't know what's happening with him, but efficiency on offense down, potential assist down, probably because he's playing hurt. I can't see any other reason why.
Fair enough. Russ Dewar asks about what do we consider heavy juice? Anything over minus 120? Question mark. So for
Anything,
me, you go ahead. You go ahead.
yeah, anything north of minus 130 is heavy juice.
For me, for player props, I guess it can be a little bit different because a lot of times they're trying to find a good, decent 50-50 point sometimes. So if you're taking on like minus 140, minus 150 on where you feel like you have a slight edge, you're not getting necessarily the best price. But me personally, you can find like really good bets that are minus 500, minus 1,000. It just depends if it's
Yeah,
plus EV.
yeah.
For the way Pips is betting for these player props, hopefully that I kind of explained that well, where you don't necessarily want to go for like minus 150 or like minus 130 plus stuff, but you can find good bets that are juice heavily.
I'm more than okay betting minus 130. I am okay. Like when you're betting points, like let's say 25.5, you don't want on any side going at minus 140. Uh, that there's like especially when you're betting overs, taking overs on let's say a huge line at minus 140. I'll rather buy like 1 point up and bet plus 100 or minus 105, minus 110, than going like 25.5 on a single event on minus 140, because like injuries, foul trouble, blowouts, the I like so many things can happen that the price you're paying, I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it, but not a good scenario to play that much juice. I'd rather go 1 point higher in this stuff, because so many things for under. Well, I kind of take different approach, but for overs, like I'd rather play at 1 point higher.
Right. I'm. Yeah. I
Heavy
understand
juice.
your perspective. You can find. It's important to know you can find plus EV bets at virtually any price,
Yeah,
any juice.
I'm not saying anything against it. Like if it's
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
like 2.5 line for assist or threes, yeah, you can get minus 180, minus 200 for a great value, because you have something hitting like 80% and 75% of the time, and the price is like 70% or 68%. That's huge edge, of course.
Yeah. It's. I think everything needs to be said has been said on that.
Yeah.
Next, final question. This is from Anthony. Just it's
Also,
fun, a
I
fun
just
one.
remembered I was asked to correlated bets. I think it's Booker under points or assist that didn't come through because it was a blowout, and then second one was Ingram, which won.
Yeah.
He stayed under on points over on assists because they said they were sending doubles. When you think teams are sending double, they did the same against Booker. It would won if it wasn't for a blow. I'll just check a number. I think he had insane amount of sorry if I'm
Uh,
breaking it out, but I need to check this because I just remembered it was popped up on the show and I have at some point. Yeah, Booker had 5 assists and 16 potential assists.
oh,
When he has
that
16
stinks.
potential assists, he is expected to have 9 assists, and the line was 6.5.
Yeah, that
So,
stinks.
and it was in a blowout, so he didn't even play the fourth quarter. So, yeah, this was a great bet, and both were like Ingram and when you know the teams are sending doubles to a guy, betting points under an assist over at like plus
Yeah,
260
you
probably
did that
most
a
of the
lot. You
time.
did that a lot on the show last
Yeah,
year.
I think that's probably the biggest ROI EV plus bets you can make in the NBA.
The last question, just as a fun one to end off the show. Anthony asked, any opinions on Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul? I don't listen. This is a completely square handicapping perspective. Just from my outside information, I do not know how the hell Mike Tyson's going to win this fight. He's 58 years old. I don't know how. Somebody actually mentioned earlier. I didn't say, but somebody mentioned earlier. Like, if you're looking for a sweat, this is to take away the sharp angle that we want to provide in the show. This is completely square handicapping. Somebody said if you're gonna bet on this, maybe bet on a tie because it could be a complete sham. I think we're getting in. I'm looking at FanDuel right now. I think we're getting into territory where Jake Paul's a good number, minus 205. I feel like minus 200 or better. And good thing we just talked about the juice perspective. I think we're in the position where Jake Paul's a decent bet. I don't think, Fitz, do you know anything about this fight? Can you comment anything about this?
I'm actually a huge boxing fan, and I watch
Okay,
almost like
great.
every stuff, every card. We have also our guy Kargovic,
Fantastic.
who is top 10. But narrative-wise, uh, I think Mike Tyson have more to lose if he wins. Like I don't know. This honestly doesn't look like a fair fight. I think like he's going into it to get cash, and that's
Oh,
it.
he wouldn't have come out of retirement unless he was getting a humongous sum of money, which I'm sure he
Yeah,
is.
but I don't know if like I could see like okay, I'm getting cash and a lot of cash, and Jack Paul is getting like a win against me. That that's how I see.
Yeah.
Uh, I watched his a ton of videos on his preparation. I'm actually surprised that
Oh, he looks ready.
yeah, Mike Tyson looks decent. Like he's nowhere near close fast enough to compete, but punching power is probably could be still on his side in this one, which is
Yeah.
insane to even consider. But he does look slow, and I don't know. Like if I thought like this is a fair fight where they don't have a deal where Mike Tyson can't win, which I think it could be on the table. That this is a deal that Mike Tyson should let him. Like if they're having a fair fight, Jake Paul is probably still winning. But I don't think that's the case here. I think this is just like, okay, I'll go 6 rounds, 7 rounds. Maybe they work on a tie and then a rematch, or they just let Jake Paul win. Like this is like that like
It's like
wrestling.
Floyd. It reminds me of Floyd versus Logan
Conor
Paul.
McGregor, yeah. Oh
Well,
yeah,
that
I
one too.
mean,
But when Logan Paul
yeah,
fought Floyd Mayweather, they were just kind of
yeah,
dancing around the ring together.
yeah.
A boring fight, but this one. Listen, if you
You,
don't want to lay
I,
the juice with Jake Paul, then Jake Paul by points or decision. Again, this is
yeah.
all completely square from me, but draw or Jake Paul by points or decision, or just Jake Paul outright. I'd say is the bet for this.
If I 100% knew like this is a fair fight, I'll like from my personal like stuff. I'll probably look at the numbers for KO by
By Tyson.
my by Tyson. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
knowing that probably isn't because this is like this huge show,
yeah. This
no
is
go for
this
me.
is funny. What in me desires to see a 60-year-old fight someone half their age? Why do I want to watch this? I don't know. I have to watch it though. I have to watch it. I have to see this.
I
This
think
is
like even though Mike Tyson is like came around from his like I watch his podcast, I watch his him talk a lot, and he like there's pure wisdom and experience now, which is crazy to think when you remember
yeah. Yeah.
how how a bad guy was he in
Yes.
his era, which is great to see. I absolutely love Mike Tyson these days, but yeah, I think people want to see this because they hate Jake Paul and what his brother
Exactly.
represent.
The-
And even though I like Jake Paul 10 times more than Logan
Logan,
Paul,
yeah.
like that's not even close for me. Uh, and old crew loving Mike Tyson. Like he's one of the most lovable guys. Like if I speak like if I'm even mentioned to my father like Mike Tyson, he's like glorified God in his eyes. And I think everyone older than like 35 or like 40 that were watching him live in 90s and late 80s like have him as a like or goat. Most people have him as a goat. So I think there is that as well. Like people love to
It's
see like their guy beating the crap out of YouTuber. Yeah.
yeah, I think you don't want to miss out on the chance to watch Jake Paul lose. I think that's the big draw to these fights. There's a chance Jake Paul will lose, and you don't want to miss that because that's what people are kind of rooting for here. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I've been excited for a long time, and I'm gonna watch this fight. Okay, that'll do it for the show. It was ended up not being shorter than any other show, and we managed to fill out a show full of NBA content, a little bit of boxing in there. Despite there only being one game. Despite there only being one game, there is still an official pick on the show. It is Derek Lively over 8.5 points, minus 115 or better. There was minus 115 in plenty when we gave this out. Minus 110 was also available when Pips brought this one up. So that is the one official bet of the day. Let's keep things going on the show after the 3-1 day. For some of you, it was a 4-0 day, so that's great. But if you, for some people, it was 3-1. That's how we'll cash it on the show. Let's get another one on the board here. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you enjoyed the show. Subscribe to the channel for more NBA content. And we'll be back tomorrow for a bigger slate of NBA games to discuss to finish off the week. Thanks so much, everybody.